Washington's clear-thinking headquarters. The Morning Majority, 5 to 9 on 630 WMAS.
6:37, Morning Majority. Happy Monday morning to you in Washington. Brian Eben, Michael Steele in the house this morning, former chairman of the RNC, former Lieutenant Governor of Maryland.
Hey, morning.
It's great to have you here. Scott Rigell joins us now, congressman from Virginia, Republican, who voted against the deal Friday night. Congressman, good morning. How are you?
Good morning, Brian. Good morning, Michael.
Hey, good morning, Congressman. How are you, sir?
I'm doing well. Listen, anytime you're on the Hill, stop by Cannon 327. We'd love to see you again and appreciate the work that you did in leading our party.
I appreciate you, man. I will do that. Thank you.
I'll be there, too. How about that? Tell us why, Congressman. Why did you vote against it? What was your big beef?
Gosh, Brian, you're getting right into this.
Well, that's what we're here to do.
Sure. Well, let me, and I mean this, I really, really appreciate our leadership. I think the Speaker did a great job. He took the fight. I do believe that he got just about everything he could have gotten. Now, here's the interesting thing. I'm a first-time elected official, a businessman, 30 years entrepreneur, own my own business, and I've read a lot of financial statements. And one of the challenges I found in Washington is just getting the right set of numbers. Because this is important to answer your question. I hear a lot of folks say, well, the $61 billion, it's a prorated, because we were partially through the year. Well, that's really not how I understand the numbers, and this is relevant. What I was looking for was a true $100 billion reduction from what we were actually spending. And once that came around and I got elected and I got up there, and it's like, well, no, what we were talking about is $100 billion from the president's budget. And, so we had to work through that. And then, so it's really not a prorated amount. And I just felt like, the number that we're off right now in my mind is still actually $61 billion. We got $39 billion in reductions, but not as much as I would, what I would have liked to have seen.
So the cuts weren't deep enough for you. That's pretty much the bottom line.
Well, that's the bottom line of it. And a lot of this has to do with how serious how does one view our overall fiscal situation? And I truly wake up thinking about it, and I go to sleep thinking about it. And that's I'm just so deeply troubled, and I have some concern that the mindset is that we don't really quite grasp the risk that our country is at and how serious it is, and that's why folks from the 2nd District sent me to Washington.
Hey, Congressman, you make a very good point there about why you were sent to Washington, and certainly as chairman of the party, having had a hand in sort of laying some of the groundwork for guys like you and others to come to do the nation's business in terms of cutting its spending habits and reforming itself. As well as I do that the Dems and their friends out there are going to demagogue the heck out of the Ryan plan, particularly two provisions with respect to Medicare and Medicaid.
Correct.
And I want to get your take on that. If the Medicare portion of the plan would allow seniors who are coming into the system, not those currently in the system, so those who are 55 and younger, as they get into the system, would pick from a list of private insurance plans, and the federal government would only subsidize their coverage as opposed to pay for it. And the Medicaid plan under Ryan's proposal which is the for the poor, would be turned into block grants that would be given to the states for the states to then make those payments and to take care of the poor within their community. What's your take on the impact of that? Because, of course, our friends on the left are saying this is going to destroy the system for our seniors, and it's going to, push the poor folks further into poverty with respect to their health care, allowances and the like.
Yeah. Paul's plan is bold, it's wise, and I've already embraced it fully. I'm unapologetic about it. I'm out front on it. I'm out front on our Facebook page, on Twitter, on our press release. I am so thankful. He is a true patriot, and he has given us that, the people of America want leadership, and he has given us something to really rally around, and our conference is doing that. And I have kind of a, I think it's because I'm 50 years old. I've had a full and complete life. If I get returned, in the next election cycle, that's great. If I don't, I've got a wonderful life to go back to. So it just gives me a freedom and a boldness to say, if I get criticized somewhere on this, I would say, where's your plan? And I guarantee you the plan that the president's going to come forth with, it's not only a day late and a dollar short, it's just 2 years late. And I am so disappointed he has not led. And, he gave us a budget that was, a $1.6 trillion deficit, deficit the size of the eye could see. And everywhere I go, whether Democrats, independents, or Republicans, people are saying, Scott, do what's right. The American people, they are getting it. They know instinctively that we're a nation at risk. And so I'm ready to take the fight right to anybody.
Let me ask you this about Congressman Ryan's budget plan. We've heard a lot from Republicans, a lot of people in the Tea Party. They want a constitutional amendment to balance the budget. But Paul Ryan's budget isn't a balanced budget until like the 2030s. So is that a problem with you?
That's part of what I'm processing. I mean, I'm certainly embracing Paul's. Actually, it's our party's, and I think Paul would be the first to say that. It's our path to prosperity. I just am now looking at the RSC budget, the Republican Study Committee. I'm a real fiscal conservative. You know that already in our short interview. So to be able to tighten that up is appealing to me, and I want to look at that. And here, if you think about the logic of what we just went through, the logic was, and I really do, and all of my colleagues who voted for it, I highly respect them. We are united, completely united in cutting spending. But see, when we agree to some of the compromises that we agreed to, I'm not talking about the riders. I would have, frankly, jettisoned those. I would have just focused on the spending part. But if we even compromised a nickel on the path to prosperity, we're in trouble, and that's what concerns me. I'm an automobile dealer by trade. I know a little bit about negotiations and buying and selling businesses and negotiations, and what the path to prosperity is the minimum that we can do, the minimum. And I think it was crafted that way so that it's palatable to the American people. But we did walk into the wilderness 40 years. It is going to take us a while to walk out. I do acknowledge that. You can't do it in 2 or 3 years, and that's why the debt ceiling is going to be so problematic, because for those who want to cut it off immediately, that's just a stunning reversal.
All right, Congressman, thank you so much for your time. We appreciate you getting up early for us.
Good to hear you, Congressman.
Thank you so much.
Take care.
Scott Rigell, Republican from Virginia Beach, here on the Morning Majority, one of the few people who voted no for the budget deal. The Republican